Hey everyone, and welcome to the weekly roundup for Eve Echoes for the week ending the 21st of October 2023. In these videos, we just go through the week's news for anything that you might have missed out on, whether it's in-game or in Discord, and round it off with the developer Q&A. So the first topic of this week's video is the Echoes of New Eden podcast. This podcast, for those of us that are based in the EU, tends to be hosted late at night, typically between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning, so the majority of us don't get to tune in. For the second week in a row, they are hosting it at 1900 UTC. That is a much more favourable time for those of us over on this side of the pond. So if you're on the same side of the pond as me and you want to actually take part in the audience live, go ahead and check out their podcast. And next up, when I have zoomed out, we have a rather unusual Discord event to do with the Centrum. An impending winter, the Centrum awoke from a long sleep with its desire to last in the universe. Pilots stop it by completing the following missions and get your rewards. All of these missions are just Discord based and a bot keeps a track of it. We'll be getting to that quite possibly later. As for what it actually rewards us, we don't really know at this stage. For all we know, it could be 5000 SP, or every single pilot that does something here might get something more unique. We just don't really know at this stage. It's a Discord event that is going on until October the 31st. So if you haven't took part in it yet, feel free to go and do so. At the bare minimum, all you have to do is react with the 07 emoji, as it states in this little announcement. And I mentioned something about a bot, and this is a theory of Rambo's at the moment, which I guess I'm going to run with because it's the one thing that makes the most sense at the moment. Earlier today, when I was doing some research for another video, I felt like just popping over to the Ask for Help channel just to ask a question about one of the implants. You know, because I don't really have the ability to test them all. And I discovered I wasn't able to type. Yay! I have no idea because I'm very inactive on that Discord server, so I don't know. We're presuming this is bot related, so we're just waiting for the Discord mods to find out what the hell is going on there, but it timed quite nicely with this weekly roundup video, so I figured I'd just throw it in there for laughs. So moving along, we have the regular Plex report. As you can see, Plex is continuing to go up and up and up in price. So those of you that are playing as free-to-play players, it's going to get increasingly more difficult as the weeks go by to keep up with this Plex price. As it stands at the moment, I believe it's roughly around 1 billion ISK to get standard Omega. That's the one with 170 Plex funded. So yeah, it's getting a wee bit more expensive, and I've not said the number out loud, have I yet? It's around 6.5 million Plex, if I haven't stated it already. So yeah, a wee bit expensive for some of us. Thankfully, yeah, I don't know where I was going to lead with thankfully. It's still on the market, I guess. It's not completely dried out, although half of the time I do check it is completely dried out, so yeah, it's one of those at the moment. Let's move on to the developer Q&A. So once again, the Q&As are all answered by the same person, this time NetEase's Water Knight, and we are still roughly, 2 weeks behind on the date? It's about a week and a half behind. I can do maths, I promise. So this is for the 3rd to the 9th of October 2023. So yeah, about a week and a half behind. Question number 1, could you add a shortcut to the AI Centrum screen on the ship radial menu? It takes many screens with long loading times to get to the AI and load Amethyst cores. I understand where this person's coming from. It's like if I want to use the AI in nullsec, I have to change it from 1 jump to 0 jumps, and from news encounters to combat anomalies. And then when I turn the AI back on in highsec, I have to set it to up to 1 jump because of the island that I've chosen, and back across to news encounters. And getting to that button is quite painful when you have to go through the nanocore screen, which is one of the longest and hardest to load parts of the video. Someone's probably going to laugh at a couple of choice words I put in there just then. I've only just realised, but hey ho, let's read the answer before I say anything else that'll make people laugh. So, thank you for bringing this to our attention. We will discuss it internally and come up with an optimization. The loading time and AI experience have always been our focus of attention. We will continuously work on improving these aspects. I kind of hope they do, because it's not very comfortable loading the nanocore screen at the moment, especially when you want to keep on repackaging nanocores to re-roll that first attribute before you commit to something. Well, anyway, let's move along to question number 2. There has been long-standing discussion, rumours and information on things like station containers, naming ships and cloak jamming towers. These are significant quality of life fixes. When will we see them? Yeah, this is something that the official content creators were rather passionate about, I think going all the way back to April when they first announced it. What had happened is somewhere behind the scenes, one of the moderators or community team members, I don't know who, one of them will have told them this is coming, feel free to tell your viewers. And then for whatever reason it never did, probably because it was never formally finished or bug was discovered. We don't know, but it would be nice to finally see these things, especially considering how long they have essentially been teased for now. But let's have a look at the answer. Hi there, we are actively working on these updates and will release them gradually according to our development plan. We'll soon be introducing cloak jamming towers, which can temporarily disable cloaking devices. We appreciate your patience and enthusiasm and will make sure to keep you updated on our progress. That is going to be an interesting one, temporarily disabling cloaking devices. And with it being a tower, it's going to be a structure, so it's going to be a SOV device. So sovereign device, you know, where you have the system with your own structures in it. It'll be interesting to see that dynamic, because it will mean that you can no longer have one cloaked pilot sat AFK 100 kilometers above a station watching for any vulnerable targets to undock and then, you know, provide eyes for before a fleet logs in and ganks it. You'd actually be able to take it out with the cloaking jammer, and if that pilot is actually on the game, actually playing the game and notices the cloak go down, they can just warp off to a safe spot, warp back in again, hit cloak at some point when it's allowed to be turned back on. It's not going to impact gameplay for active players, but it will impact gameplay for people who put the cloak on and just walk away for 3 hours. I mean, I'm all for this kind of update. But let's move along to question number 3. Hello devs, is there a chance that in the future there will be an event that we can get few nano? I try collect nano from all ships, and for now I am missing most nano from Starbeat, CyberX and Illusionary Ghost. I give myself challenge to get them all. There could also be collection mission, where for getting few ships we get something. So what I think this guy's trying to say is he wants to be able to collect all of the nanocores for all ships? I'm not entirely sure if I understand this question now that I've reread the all ships bit. Is he talking from the context of a free-to-play player or a pay-to-play player? I honestly don't know, so I'm just going to skip ahead to the answer for this one. Rest assured, we will bring back old cores as we release new ones. Keep up the good work and happy collecting. Okay. Yeah, there's not really much to be said for that one. So the last question, question number 4. What are your goals for the future of EVE Echoes, especially in terms of player retention and growth? This answer could be either really, really, really big, as in like an entire essay with a full-on business plan, which you wouldn't expect in a dev Q&A, or it could be just a paragraph, which is what we've got because it's a dev Q&A. We highly value the experience and growth of our pilots. In the future, we are committed to provide more ways for pilots to continuously improve their skills and abilities. At the same time, we will also offer more challenges and competitions for experienced pilots to test their strengths. Thank you all for your support and love for our game. Yeah, that's not really an answer, but I guess it's exactly the kind of answer that you'd expect. If a member of the press went to NetEase and asked the question on the record, what is the future of your game? What do you want to say about it? This is the exact kind of statement that they'd put out. It's something fluffy that doesn't really say anything, but it says enough to answer the question, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I think the questions we need to ask need to be a little bit more specific, just so that we can avoid the typical PR fluff piece that we seem to have gotten here. I'm not criticising the question here. Good on you putting on the question, and you've got a Duo Omega for that. It would be nice to be able to hand out Duo Omegas, but one step at a time, eh? Well, anyway, that is the end of this video and the end of the dev Q&A. If there's anything you'd like to see included in the developer Q&As going forward, if there's a news topic that isn't typically covered by me, maybe I'm completely unaware of it at this particular point in time, feel free to let me know and I'll include it in the videos. Until the next video, thanks again for watching everyone, and fly casual? Yeah, that's the one, fly casual.